If you don't take control of your life, somebody else will. Here's a video on how to be confident and so making sure that you take control of your own life. And when you're on your deathbed, you don't think somebody else chose my life for me. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this video is about how to be confident. We all know there are different things that make us confident. So in this video, I'm gonna go into all the things that make me confident. Hopefully, will help you out as well. Number one, exercise. Girl, if I don't work out, I go crazy. Like, it definitely affects my mood. It affects my mood more than a rainy day does. If I don't go to the gym, or if I don't at least go for a walk, don't move my body, and I've been home all day, it's just not good for me. So I've made it a pact. I made a pact with myself to go for a walk or the gym, either or, every single day, and it has helped me so much. It will help you so much as well with your mood, how you show up for yourself, how you show up for others, your optimism about the future. You know, it just gets you out of the rut, especially with what's going on in the world. You just don't want to be constantly exposing yourself to what's going on and not doing anything about it. I mean, there's nothing you can really do in terms of the bigger concept. Unfortunately, by the way, it's just from it. There's nothing you can do from that, but the only thing you can do is take care of yourself, especially if you have a family that you need to show up for, kids, partner. If you're not showing up as your best self, it's hard, you know? So, I was just getting a call there. The second thing that you would need to do is talk to God. And I would say it's probably the most important thing. Ever since I started having conversations with God, I've been feeling so much better. It almost feels like a hug, you know? And I recommend this to everybody. God is someone that is with you all the time. If your friends are not available, family's not available, your therapist is not available, God is with you all the time. And that is one of the best things that I've learned to accept, or I've learned to finally appreciate as an adult, because as life continues to get harder, you just need to become stronger, you know? And you know that song, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." So anyways, talking to God is really important, you know, whether it's praying or just having that heart-to-heart conversation with him, and just saying, "Hey God, I need you right now. I'm lost. I don't know where life is gonna take me, but I know your plan is the best plan." And I'm speaking from personal experience. So make sure you lean on God, because even though your life hasn't been fully figured out yet, if you are lost in life, having that peace, that wall to lean on in a way, is just the most comforting thing you could ever experience. Number 3, your diet. How you show up for yourself in every way matters, especially with your food. If you're not going to respect yourself and eat random things, a donut here, a chocolate bar there, and eating late at night, and just stuffing yourself and comforting yourself with food, you're going to feel bad about yourself. You're going to feel bad about yourself. It's going to show up in your body, obviously, because you are what you eat, and people around you are going to notice. And let's be honest, people will treat you differently. And as much as I hate to say this, not to say that they should, but it's the reality of life. If you are someone who respects themselves and is very vigilant about what they put inside their body, how they treat themselves, other people will treat you better too. People learn how to treat you based on how you treat yourself, and people will learn to disrespect you based on how you disrespect yourself. It's not always the case. Sometimes people will disrespect you because they're just bad people. I'm gonna try to not swear on this channel. But yeah, you need to just show up for yourself, you know, just how you would show up for a friend that you really care about, or a partner, or a family member. I feel like some of us, sometimes we get into this rut and we think we're not worthy of it for some reason, you know. The next thing that I would say is probably the most important thing that you can do, you should do, in order to for your confidence to become a confident person, is to be the best at what you can be in every aspect of life. Let me explain. Let me go into it more detail. For example, when you're trying, focus on the process, not the outcome. For example, when you're trying your best to be the best friend to your friends, the best partner to your partner, the best daughter to your parents, and the best sister to your brother and sister, then you will feel confident. For example, if the relationship this ends up going south, you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel good about yourself regardless. You're gonna say, you know what? I was an amazing friend to this person. It is their loss for screwing it up. Or I was an amazing friend to this partner. It is their loss for screwing it up because I know what I bring to the table. And you can say that with peace of mind. You know, that's one of the most important things. When you go to bed with peace in mind, knowing that you haven't screwed anybody over, you've done your best, you've shown up your best, you've been genuine, you've been honest, that helps me at least feel very confident and feel at peace at night. And sleep is very important, which brings me to my next point. Sleep. If you don't get enough sleep, it will show up in your body. You know, you don't get enough sleep, you look tired and you look restless, but sleep is just so important. So it's very important to get enough sleep so you feel rested the next day. And when you sleep better, you show up better for others. So on days that I don't sleep so well, it's really hard for me to show up in my best self and be positive. I don't it's just a difficult time, right? So sleep is also very important. The other thing that I would say is make sure that you are making hard decisions. Sometimes the right decision is not always the easy decision, you know, whether it is ending a relationship, quitting that job, relocating, something that is hard. You have to think about it. That's how you end up gaining your confidence, by doing hard things. Going to the gym is hard. Not working out is also hard, but going to the gym, at least you're getting rewarded with a nice body, you know, a healthier body. Obviously, you look good and you feel good. So making hard decisions is just imperative. As you continue getting older and you have become more and more aligned with who you are, it becomes easier for you to make the hard decisions and not have that strong of an emotional attachment to the outcome, because you know where you're headed and you just going that way, you know. Whereas if you are always about pleasing everybody and, you know, maybe I'll do something that I don't really want to do and whatnot, you're just not gonna feel good about yourself. You're gonna be a pushover, and people take advantage of it. And it's the reality of life. It's human tendency to take advantage of people that are pushovers, and sometimes it doesn't make them a bad person, but just the reality. Yeah. And one of the other things I would say is journaling. Journaling has helped me significantly to understand my thoughts, my thought process better. You know, whenever I journal, sometimes I just don't even think about it actively. Like, what am I journaling about? I just free handwriting, you know, just keep going and keep writing and writing and writing, and you're gonna start to acknowledge and notice certain things about yourself, about your thought process, about your intuition, things that you've been avoiding, things that you need to address. And journaling is just very important. And then one of the best things about journaling is if you've journaled for a period of time and then you look back on it 6 months later, a year later, 5 years later down the line, you can see how far you've come. You can see how much you've changed as a human person. Like, I know for a fact I am not the same person I was a year ago. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. And for that, I'm grateful. I think if you are the same person every year, then have you even grown, you know? And that brings me to my next point. It's very important to have a growth mindset, you know, in terms of have an open mind. In terms of certain things, have a growth mindset. Like, how do I become a better person? How do I show up better from other people? If a number of people who don't know each other, your friend, your partner, family member, whoever, if they all give you the same feedback, and it's constructive feedback that you don't necessarily like to hear, but these people that don't know each other don't give you the same feedback, there's probably a reason. You know, there's clearly a pattern in something that these people are noticing and you're not willing to address. So the sooner you address that, the sooner you will address the sooner you will address that, the better you'll feel in how you show up for yourself, how you show up for others, because you know that you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you're trying. You're trying your best to show up better every single day. You know, it's that 1% concept that I forgot who it was coined by, but it's just very much that important. If you decide you can change your life in 6 months, and that's one of the most exciting things to think about. I mean, time freaking flies. You know, you wake up in the morning, you go to the gym, you do get something done, and you turn around, it's already 2 p.m. So time flies. And sometimes you might think like, oh my goodness, I need 6 months to get something done. That is such a long time. No, no, no. No, no, no. It's almost April now. 2026. Time's flying. Take advantage of it. Make sure that you are showing up for yourself in the best way possible. The other thing that I would say is, this is more of a long-term thing. When you're making decisions, goes back to my previous point about making hard decisions. When you're making decisions, you need to become more intentional about the implications of your decisions. For example, there are some people that I know that don't take their life that seriously. They're like, you know what, I'll just figure it out and whatnot, which is fine. Like, sometimes it's okay to be a little bit flexible. But if you're constantly leaving things like, it's okay, this relationship doesn't work, no, like, no. Take your life seriously, you know? And how I like to live my life, and I've been starting to do that for the past 6 months, and it's one of the at least 6 months, I would say a year. One of the best things that I've started to ask myself is, how will I feel about doing something or not doing something when I'm on my deathbed, whether that would be at 50, 60, 70, 80 years old? Because the reality of life is, we don't know how long you have on this earth, right? So the sooner you accept that, I heard this quote that said somewhere, you have 2 lives. The second one starts when you realize you only have one. When you realize and accept that you only have one life to live, you become much more intentional with the people you surround yourself by, the things that you watch, how will you take care of your body, and all of these things. So make sure that you take your life more seriously. And the next point that I have is your circle of friends. Your circle, that they say, like, the 5 people that are closest to you have the biggest influence on you, and I could not agree anymore with that. You know, what is normal for a group of friends, for example, that are into drugs and smoking and whatnot, that is their norm, may not be normal for another group of friends that are all about health and living their life with and having the God in mind, like, that is just not a different norm. And then there's you. Do you choose to make this your norm, or do you choose to make this your norm? It's very, very important, because the decisions you make now, and if you're in your 20s or 30s, will reflect in your body, in your day-to-day, in you being miserable or not. And I don't know about you, but I know one thing is that I don't plan on getting old and being a miserable woman and hoping that I had done things differently. That is why I make certain decisions that I've made, because I don't want to have any regrets. So anyways, I can go on and on. Let me know if you want a part 2, but yeah, and just be a good human being. It's not that hard. It's hard for some people, but it's not that hard if you have a pure heart. Anyways, thanks for coming to my channel. I feel so weird showing my head. This is from Eid and this is from my niece. She just decided to put it on. I was gonna say no, but then I was like, girl, I just, I didn't want to say no to my 4-year-old niece. She's just too cute. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video.